So today I would like to discuss about the mass defect. Mass defect is one of the most misinterpreted idea because according to Einstein, mass defect is a very important interesting phenomena in the whole physics. According to Einstein, mass defect is directly converted into energy. The matter can be directly converted to energy. He thought that when a mass defect happens, it's actually he postulated this idea before experiments, or he said just like a prediction, like. So he proposed the idea that matter can be converted into energy. He saw, according to him, his idea. Even today, people believe that matter can be energy means photons. Energy means photons, or energy of particles energy. Particles kinetic energy or particles energy. When particles hit or collide the surrounding matter, it will generate heat. When it heats, it will generate heat, and it will create emit radiations. So now we believe that our Einstein said that matter can be directly converted into energy, but but when you closely observe what is happening with the mass defect is that a mass defect gives kinetic energy to the product particles and product fragments. For example, whenever a reaction or a chemical or a nuclear reaction or whatever a mass defect happen, for example, mass defect can happen in many cases. For example, nuclear reaction or collision, neutron star collisions or particle accelerator collisions. All these create mass defects. But when a mass defect happens, when we closely observe the mass defect, it's actually the particles, the product particles or fragments are getting very high energy. That is what when we see first, when we observe a mass defect, this is what we have. When we see this is what we see. So in fact, when the particles gets kinetic energy, when it hits surrounding matter or particle, then it will generate heat energy. But nowadays people believe that mass defect is directly. Einstein said that is what Einstein also said. Mass defect can be directly converted into energy, but that is not correct actually. Actually, what is happening is that when a mass defect happens, this mass defect gives kinetic energy, high kinetic energy to the product particles and product fragments. So when these things collide the surrounding matter, then it creates heat energy and radiations. So there's a misunderstanding is that matter can be converted into energy. That concept is actually sorry to say that it's a baseless concept. No, it's actually a wrong concept. What is happening is that mass defect gives it propels, or it make the particles as a projectile, the product particles or product fragments as projectiles. So when this projectile collide with the surrounding matter, it generates heat energy or radiations. That is a fact actually. So if that is the case, there is something happening with the mass defect. So if product particles are getting high energy, that means something is happening there. That means my conclusion is that the mass defect is directly converted into a form of matter, a thin form of matter. But currently we don't have a technology to measure or detect such a kind of matter, because it's very thin form of matter. So all the mass defects happening around, for example, stellar in star, IT star, even for example our sun every second it convert billions of tons of ordinary matter into it converts mass. It creates mass defect. Billions of tons of mass defects. Sun creates billions of tons of mass defect each second. So all this, where it goes, all this missing matter, that is a question. So my conclusion is that all the mass defects that is happening in the universe. And the cell active stars produce so many mass defects, and when stars collide, it will create mass defects. When neutron star collides, it will create mass defects. When black hole collides, all these events creates mass defect. But where this mass defect goes, that's the question. So my research shows that mass defect is not converted into energy according to as Einstein said. Instead, mass defect is converted into another state of matter. So all mass defect in the universe release a kind of super thin form of matter. So yeah, that is not currently we don't have a technology to detect that matter, but now I have some ideas to I have some proposal to how to detect that. So since ancient times, hundreds of years, people believed the existence of a space-filling substance. They called ether. But since the Michelson Morley experiment that conducted in 1997, people started to discredit this idea, either concept, the space-filling substance, that concept. But even later, that Michelson Morley experiment also, scientists conducted similar kind of experiment. Still, they couldn't find any such thing. But this, as I said, every mass defect creates this kind of super thin form matter. So since the ether is a invention name, I would like to give this super thin matter ether, the same ether. So now coming forward, I'll say ether only. I don't want to say the super thin form, that long word. I don't want to use that same long word. I'll just say ether only. So every mass defect in the universe, whether in a stellar solar activities or in even a particle accelerator, when a particle collider, a particle accelerator, when the particles, protons collide, it will create mass defect. All the events in the universe which create mass defects, its release or it produces ether. Means mass defect is converted into ether. Now the interesting thing. So as I said, when a mass defect happens, it propels, it shoots the products and product fragments in every direction. Now the technology we can use there's a technological application for this thing. So it's very interesting. Perhaps advanced extraterrestrial civilizations, advanced civilization in the universe probably already utilizing this kind of technology, I believe. So the technology is that when a mass defect happens, now when mass defect happen, our nuclear weapons or nuclear reactor, now how we consider imagine a nuclear reactor. Here, there, what is happening? We making a nuclear fission reaction, and it will generate so much heat, and that heat we are used to boil water or whatever, boil whatever. So what we are doing now is that we are making mass defect, and we are making this nuclear fission or fusion reaction, and we are generating heat with that, and we boil water, and we'll turn a turbine, steam. We are making a steam turbine, and making a turbine to rotate, and is connected to electric generator, and it will produce electricity. Actually, in advanced civilization, in advanced technology, in advanced stage, we don't need to convert into heat. Actually, we can make this a very interesting thing. We can make a mass defect without the generation of heat. So, I will repeat again. We'll be able to create mass defect without the generation of heat. So, the whole energy associated with the mass defect, we can convert all the mass defect into pure propulsion. So if that is the case, we can create enormous amount of thrust force, because this, when it release the mass defect, happens, it releases that ether or space filling, that superfine form of matter. It will release the ether, so it will generate a enormous amount of thrust force. So this, if you use this thrust force directly, we can use it for generating energy or for flying crafts, or we can make a UFO kind of technology, UFO kind of propulsion technology. So probably in future, probably in 100 years, I don't know the timeline, I don't know. Anyway, there's a high possibility and probability that we can convert the mass defect into propulsion. If that once that is, we achieve that technology, it will going to revolutionize our all the energy production, everything, our transport, etc. Because it's a nuclear energy. So we will see, if you achieve that technology, and if you can put that technology in a small craft, then it just turn on the this, and will just shoot in the very high speed, very high speed. We can travel even Mars. We can reach within minutes. I think within minutes we'll reach the Mars. So that's a high possibility of such a technology. So why I'm discussing, actually this is my third video discussing the same subject. Why because it's such an important thing. So it's a giant leap for humankind. So that's what I'm by again repeat the same thing. So I would like to request our scientists, NASA, ISRO, or ESO, Canadian Space Research Agency, all that, they who are the people who are researching about the propulsion, new generation of propulsion technology. I request to please consider this possibility. So so this is a new possibility, is a revolutionary concept actually. So I'm Joseph George. I'm an independent researcher. Please support my channel, and I'm going to conclude this session. We are just discussing about a new kind of the possibility of a propulsion technology. So I hope you'll like this video, and if you find worthwhile, please share with your friends. And thank you for watching. I will come again with a new subject, a topic. Thank you for watching. We'll conclude this video. Okay. Thank you everybody.